Hello, kindergarten, and welcome back to Art. It is January 2021, and today we're going to be doing a fun project using a pencil and a piece of paper. So go grab one and be ready to draw with me. We're going to draw a really fun picture of a winter bear. So the first thing I want you to do is take your piece of paper up and down, vertically that's called, and I want you to fold your paper in half like that. All right, so let me do that quickly for you. And by doing this, it's gonna help me figure out where the middle is, do you see? So I was able to create a center line by folding it. I'm gonna just put that paper away. Okay, so now what you're going to do is you're gonna lay it down, and let me move you down so you can see. You're going to take your pencil, and I'm just gonna smooth that out a little bit so it's not so bumpy. And let's start with the nose of the bear. The nose of the bear is gonna be right in the middle, okay? So I'm gonna draw the top of the nose, which is kind of a flat line, with a little bit of a curve on it, like that. All right? And I'm drawing upside down here, so forgive me if it's a little silly looking. And it curves around. And it has sort of a flat bottom. So it almost looks like a little bit like an Easter egg, right? Now, in the nose, I want you to put an oval on each side. That's the little bear's nostrils. Okay? So now that you have that, let's move on to the next step. Put your pencil on the line that's folded in the middle and draw a little line down like that. Okay? That's going to be the center of the bear's mouth. And then you put a line like that, and put a line like that. Okay, we're creating the top of his lip. And then you curve this line around the nose. Notice what I do it on both sides. That way I'm keeping it symmetrical. Symmetrical is when it's the same, and that's why we created that line, okay? And you bring it up like that. Okay? Now, down here, let's draw the bottom of his mouth. All right? Now these lines here are gonna lead up to his eyebrow. All right, so boys and girls, the reason why I wanted you to put that line there is to help you drawing so that way you're making it the same on both sides, okay? So now what I wanna do is I wanna talk about where his eyes are gonna go. So let me move you down. And his eyes are gonna go right where those two lines meet. So I'm gonna put two circles that are the same size, okay? And I'm gonna draw a curve on top and a curve on top on the other side. And do you see how it started to make the face of the bear? All right? I'm then gonna go in and put a little line up here and a little line up there that creates the top of his eyebrow. All right? And now I'm gonna start to make the top of his head. So I'm gonna just go, oh, I don't know, about that much. Everyone is going to be seeing their bear a little bit differently. Draw a line, make sure it's the same on both sides. Okay? And then his little ear grows up on that side. His little ear grows up on that side. And then his ear almost goes down and equal it with his eye. Do you see how I'm equaling it? Don't make it too big. There. And then, to create the shape of his face, let me move that up a little bit. I'm just going to touch his ear and go down and almost touch the bottom of the paper there. There. Don't worry if that's a little bit big right now. We can always go back and fix that. Alright? So do you see the framework? So if I fold this paper in half on my line, it's the same on both sides, pretty much, right? Okay. Now, we're going to learn about something called shading. Shading is what's going to make the bear look like he has fur. We're going to use the pencil to create darks and lights to make him have shadow and fur and some detail. Okay? So let me move this down and show you what I'm talking about. Alright, so here we go. So I'm going to just move it down, and I'm going to start with his eyes here. I'm going to take my pencil and color in dark, but I'm going to leave a little tiny white spot. Let me move that up so you can see. Do you see that little tiny little white spot? That shows reflection in the little bear's eyes. So make sure when you color in his eyes dark, you leave a little white spot. Makes his eyes look wet and glistening. Okay? Just like that. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to work on creating the bottom of the bear's eye. And I just made they look like little smiley faces at the bottom. Do you see? One here and one there. Okay? And I'm going to just color in his eye, but I'm going to make it a little bit lighter than the middle. Do you see, I don't know, it's hard to see, but you can, oh, there it is, okay? Do you see how when I colored, I made it a little bit lighter than the middle circle? Okay? It helps add some definition. So don't just scribble, take your time and color it neatly. Okay, see how the inner part is a little bit lighter? Okay, so now let's work on his nose. We're gonna put all the darkest parts in first. So his nostrils, his little holes that he's breathing through, I'm gonna make those super dark. Okay, and then his nose itself, I'm gonna make a little bit lighter. So when I say a little bit lighter, I'm not pressing as hard. I'm using my pencil, but I'm not pressing really down. I'm using it very lightly. Okay? And I'm coloring in his nose as neatly as possible. Okay? Do you see how I colored in his nose? And I'm going to use the eraser now. Right? And at the top of his nose, I'm going to erase a little spot. And that makes his nose look nice and wet and shiny. Okay, so now that we have the shiny nose and the glistening eyes, we're ready to start to put the shading in. Now, if your bear doesn't look exactly like mine, that's okay. You're learning to draw. You guys are little yet. But I want to show you this technique because once you learn it, you'll be able to use it in other pictures, okay? So I'm going to take my pencil, and what I'm going to do is, let me just move you down here, is I want to work on some shading and some shadow in this part here, okay? So watch what I'm going to do. I'm going to just color its nose. I'm only going to do half right now. Notice when I color, I take my time. Okay, just touch his eyebrow. Easy, right? I think you can do that. Let me hold it so you can see what I did. And now let me go on the other side of that line. Do the same thing. Take your time when you color. Okay, this is how you become a better artist, is by practicing and taking your time. There. Now, I'm going to take the eraser, and I'm going to use the eraser to create fur. So let me move you down, and I'll try to get as close as I can here. I'm going to erase on the line, kind of just like scribbling with the eraser. And notice what I'm doing? I'm taking away some of my pencil marks. And what that's doing is it's giving the illusion that he has fur there. Do you see that? By just erasing. Pretty cool, right? So now, if I take my pencil, and I don't want to call it scribbling, because it's not scribbling. I'm adding some shadow up above his forehead. I'm going to do the same thing. Just take my pencil and erase it a little bit. You see? And what you want to do is you want to change the direction of your lines. Okay? So every time you do it, do the same thing on the other side. That's why we folded that paper, so that way you know if you do it here, oh, you gotta come over there and do it as well. Okay? So there's some more scribble. And now I'm gonna take my eraser and erase, kind of zigzaggy. Okay. Do you see the fur forming? By just scribbling. Ooh, I have a screw there. So I'm gonna go a little quicker now and put some darkness in. See? And now take the eraser, smudge and blend, and the eraser will push down and drag some of the lead, which is in the pencil, or the carbon. And do you see his face forming? Now when I go to do his ears, just follow the shape that you drew. You might have more circular ears than my little bear. Do the other side. Okay, so look at that. Now I went really dark. And now I have to erase. Erase over here. This brings some dark and some light into his face. Okay. And now I'm going to go around the sides here. The other side. Take your time. I know it seems like we're scribbling, but we're putting really important lines on this paper. I'm gonna do his mouth. I'm gonna make his mouth really dark here. See his mouth? might take the eraser and just fade some of that out. Okay. I put some dark in his mouth. And I might go in and put some more, we'll call these little zigzags, right? Just to make it look like he has some fur. And I can go back in now and do a lot of my erasing, that little trick. And the nice thing is this bear is white, so I don't have to do the whole thing, right? There. See his little face? And now what I want to do is I want to put some black dots under his nose. That is where his little whiskers stick out, right? There. Okay. So I might go in now and take a look at it and say, where can I add some more shadowing? Just kind of added some dark and some light wiggles to create the fur on his face. I'm going to grab a napkin or a tissue. Here's a piece of wrapping paper from the holiday. And I'm just going to cover my finger like that. See what I did? And I'm going to use this to rub over those pencil lines to kind of create a little more shadow in his face. Because even though he's white, I don't want it to be totally, see, look at that. And there is my little snow bear. Okay? So give it a try. I know this looks very hard and complicated, and I don't expect yours to look like mine, but if you start to add the shadow in, you will be surprised at how more realistic your picture looks, okay? So give it a try. And next week, we're going to work on picture number 2. We're doing a drawing month for the month of January. So keep your picture, because we're going to put it with picture number 2, and we're going to make a series. A series is a collection of artwork that has the same theme. Okay? All right, boys and girls, try it. I'd love to see it. You can send me a picture in Seesaw, or you can have Mom or Dad email me at pricet@pearlriver.org. All right, Happy New Year. Get your pencil, get your paper, see what you could do, and I'll talk to you next week. Bye.